Metal-clad cables, specifically 14.2, can indeed be used to wire a residential garage, granted that it adheres to the guidelines outlined in the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The suitability of metal-clad cable for exposed runs hinges on its protection from physical damage. This means the cable's placement should avoid areas where it could be stepped on, driven over, or otherwise subjected to impact or abrasion. Metal-clad cable does not incorporate a separate ground wire. Instead, the metallic outer sheath serves as the ground conductor. The bonding wire within the metal-clad cable should be connected to the receptacle's ground point. This connection establishes a complete ground path, ensuring proper grounding of the receptacle. Additional considerations include proper support and termination. Metal-clad cable should be supported at intervals not exceeding 4 feet. This support prevents strain on the cable and its connections, maintaining the integrity of the electrical system. Approved fittings must be used for terminating metal-clad cable. These fittings ensure secure and code-compliant connection to electrical boxes and equipment. It is crucial that all electrical work be performed by a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician possesses the knowledge, skills, and experience necessary to install metal-clad cables safely and in accordance with the NEC. Article 330 of the National Electrical Code provides specific requirements for metal-clad cable. This article covers permitted uses, installation methods, and other relevant information. Familiarity with Article 330 is essential for anyone working with metal-clad cable. When running metal-clad cable exposed, consider using straps or clamps specifically designed for this type of cable. These supports will help to protect the cable from physical damage and keep it securely in place. The type of metal-clad cable used should be appropriate for the intended application. For example, some metal-clad cables are designed for wet locations, while others are not. Choose a cable that is rated for the environmental conditions of the garage. The size of the metal-clad cable used should be appropriate for the load it will be carrying. Consult the NEC to determine the correct wire size for the circuit. Using the wrong size wire can lead to overheating and fire. When connecting metal-clad cable to a receptacle or other device, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions. This will ensure a safe and reliable connection. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuit. This will help to prevent electric shock. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician. It is always better to be safe than sorry. Metal-clad cable offers several advantages over other types of wiring. It is durable, easy to install, and provides good protection against physical damage. However, it is important to install it correctly to ensure safety and compliance with the NEC. Grounding is a critical aspect of electrical safety. It provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electric shock. The metal sheath of metal-clad cable provides a continuous ground path, which is why it is important to ensure that it is properly connected to the grounding system. The bonding wire inside metal-clad cable helps to ensure that all metal parts of the electrical system are bonded together, creating a low-impedance ground path. This is important for preventing voltage differences between metal parts, which can cause electric shock. Receptacles used with metal-clad cable should be grounding-type receptacles. These receptacles have a third prong that is connected to the grounding system. This provides an additional level of safety by ensuring that any fault current will flow to ground. When installing metal-clad cable, be sure to avoid sharp bends or kinks in the cable. These can damage the insulation and create a fire hazard. Use cable benders to make smooth gradual bends in the cable. When running metal-clad cable through walls or ceilings, be sure to protect the cable from damage. Use grommets or bushings to protect the cable where it passes through holes. Also, be sure to keep the cable away from sharp edges or other objects that could damage it. When terminating metal-clad cable, be sure to use the correct type of connector. The connector should be designed for use with metal-clad cable and should provide a secure and reliable connection. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for installing the connector. After installing metal-clad cable, be sure to test the circuit to ensure that it is working properly. Use a voltmeter to check the voltage at the receptacle and a circuit tester to check the grounding. If you find any problems, correct them before using the circuit. Regular inspections of electrical wiring can help to identify potential problems before they become serious. Inspect metal-clad cable for any signs of damage, such as cracks, cuts, or abrasions. Also, check the connections to ensure that they're tight and secure. If you find any problems, correct them immediately. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. Consult the NEC or qualified electrician for the most current information. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMA, publishes standards for electrical products, including metal-clad cable. These standards can provide valuable information about the construction, performance, and safety of metal-clad cable. Local building codes may also have requirements for electrical wiring. Be sure to check with your local building department to determine if there are any additional requirements in your area. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician before performing any electrical work. Metal-clad cable is a versatile and reliable wiring method that can be used in a variety of applications. However, it is important to install it correctly to ensure safety and compliance with the NEC. By following the guidelines provided here, you can help to ensure that your metal-clad cable installation is safe and reliable. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Turn off the power before working on any circuit, and consult with a qualified electrician if you are not comfortable performing the work yourself. The NEC specifies ampacity ratings for different sizes of metal-clad cable. These ratings are based on the type of conductor, the insulation temperature rating, and the ambient temperature. Use the appropriate ampacity rating when selecting the size of metal-clad cable for a circuit. Overloading a circuit can cause the wires to overheat and create a fire hazard. The NEC also specifies the maximum number of conductors that can be installed in a conduit or raceway. This is to prevent overheating and to ensure that the wires can be easily pulled through the conduit. Consult the NEC for the specific requirements for your application. When installing metal-clad cable in a damp or wet location, use a cable that is specifically listed for that purpose. These cables have a moisture-resistant jacket that will protect the conductors from corrosion. When running metal-clad cable underground, use a cable that is specifically listed for direct burial. These cables have a rugged jacket that will protect the conductors from damage. When connecting metal-clad cable to a box or enclosure, use a connector that is specifically listed for that purpose. These connectors provide a secure and watertight connection. When splicing metal-clad cable, use a splice kit that is specifically listed for that purpose. These kits provide a safe and reliable splice. Always use the proper tools when working with metal-clad cable. This will help to prevent damage to the cable and ensure a safe and reliable installation. If you are not sure how to install metal-clad cable properly, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide you with the information and guidance you need to complete the project safely and correctly. In addition to the NEC, there are other resources available that can provide information about metal-clad cable. These resources include manufacturers' catalogs, industry publications, and online forums. Take the time to learn as much as you can about metal-clad cable before you start your project. This will help you to ensure that you are using the correct materials and installation methods. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous. Always take the necessary precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. And never work on electrical equipment when you are tired or distracted. By following these safety tips, you can help to ensure that your electrical project is completed safely and successfully. In the context of using metal-clad cable in a residential garage, consider the specific needs of the garage. Will there be power tools used? What lighting is required? Will there be an electric vehicle charger installed in the future? All of these factors will influence the size and type of metal-clad cable required. Also, consider the layout of the garage. Where will the outlets be located? How will the cable be routed? Careful planning will help to ensure that the installation is neat, efficient, and safe. When installing metal-clad cable, be sure to follow all applicable codes and regulations. This will help to ensure that the installation is legal and safe. If you have any questions about the codes and regulations, consult with a qualified electrician or building inspector. Metal-clad cable is a valuable tool for electrical wiring. By understanding its properties and installation requirements, you can use it safely and effectively in a variety of applications. And never ever forget safety.